Oliver showed no emotion as that same jury that convicted him of murder yesterday has decided that he should spend the next 15 years of his life in prison. Take a listen.
We, the jury, having found the defendant Roy Oliver guilty of murder and having made a negative finding on the special issue of sudden passion, assess the defendant's punishment and imprisonment in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for a term of 15 years and a fine of $10,000.
Now, it took the jury made up of 10 women and 2 men 5.5 hours to come to this decision. Jordan Edwards' family was in the courtroom and remained silent as the sentence was read. Walking out of the courtroom, one family member yelled out, "Not enough, not enough," referring to the length of that sentence. But District Attorney Faith Johnson saying here to the media just a few minutes ago that she's very satisfied with the verdict. Johnson says this was a historic case, referring to the fact that a white police officer was convicted for the murder of an unarmed black man. Now, during today's proceedings, Roy Oliver's mother and common-law wife cried on the stand, asking the jury for leniency. The judge has released the jury and told them they're free to speak to the public about this case, but none of them stopped to speak to the media after leaving the courtroom. Now, at times tonight, I can tell you that it was difficult for this jury to reach their decision. They sent out a note a few hours ago to the judge asking what would happen if they could not come to a unanimous decision. But ultimately, we now know, Clarice, that they were able to do so, and Roy Oliver will spend the next 15 years of his life in prison. Of course, his team plans to appeal this case. I do believe that we have some sound from Faith Johnson, who spoke just a few minutes ago.
I want to say to the Edwards family, we have come to love them, and we've embraced them throughout this process. I know they are content in terms of at least a guilty verdict. Obviously, we would have loved to have more time. We did not get that. However, we will never argue with the jury in terms of that verdict. They listened to the testimony, they deliberated, and they decided that case according to what they thought.
Fuck the jury.
Who are hanging out there.
This shit crazy, yo. He should have got 100 years.
A group of men here in suits, that is Roy Oliver's defense team. They are waiting for the prosecution to finish speaking with members of the media, and then I would assume that they too will get to the podium and speak to the media about their feelings regarding this sentencing. Again, 15 years in prison. I can tell you during closing arguments today that Roy Oliver's team had argued that this could be a case of sudden passion, meaning that this was done in the heat of the moment. The shooting was done in the heat of the moment, and that would have meant, if the jury believed that to be true, they could have sentenced Roy Oliver to much less.
Bullshit, y'all. I'm gonna update y'all again.
They did not buy
Stay
that.
tuned.
They again have now